Well, hey there. If you're thinking about moving to Bel Air, Maryland or Baltimore, Maryland, I'm on live. As you see, I'm going to make some mistakes here. If you're thinking about moving to Baltimore, Maryland, but you don't really want to live in the city, in previous videos, we discussed Bel Air. So I'm going to tell you the 15 local secrets between you and me that you need to know about Harford County. Now, this right now is live, so I'm not going to do any special name. I'm John Ruckman. I'm the Charm City property dude. I don't have a special subscribe button that I'm going to post in here, but by all means, please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell for this video and all the other great videos. And listen, I'm excited about this channel. Nowhere on the planet can you go and find out about a specific, I'm live, a specific area. And what really helps me is helping you figure out, you know, getting into the area and showing the videos and showing you these different places. Not only does it make me a better real estate agent, but I know that when you watch the videos, you can think for you, your family, and your loved ones, or if you're just by yourself, that, hey, this is a safe place for you to go. And if you're thinking about moving here, by all means, I get hundreds of text messages, emails, messages every day. I absolutely love it. So if you decide you're going to text, email me, or call me, don't worry. I've got your back when it comes to real estate. So these are the 15 secrets, and I'm actually going to give you probably 17 secrets here. These are the 15 secrets about Harford County. Now, I could just do about Bel Air, but then it'd be like two secrets about Bel Air. And the two secrets really about Bel Air is that one, every Saturday, I think as soon as they say it's spring, every Saturday they have a farmer's market on the side of the courthouse there in the middle of Bel Air, and that is off of Main Street. And when I say they've got the local agriculture with their meats, they got coffee, they got this guy there named Chris. He does kettle corn. He used to do these little orbit donuts. The ex-cop in me is like, oh, donuts, but they used to make these donuts that were the bomb. Now, I don't know if he still makes them or not because I haven't been in a while. He stopped making them for a while, but they make this like little orbit machine that pops out these little doughy bites of heaviness. So anyway, that's secret number one for Bel Air. And the other secret would be, we don't have a humongous array of nightlife, but if you come in about St. Patrick's Day, Looney's in the middle of Bel Air, they celebrate like none other, and they have all these great local bands. I'm particular to Doc Martin and the Doc Martin and the Flannels. Almost got, and they do stuff like Five Finger Death Punch. They're cover bands, so they do that kind of thing. So anyway, I digest. Those are two secrets about Bel Air, and that would be a quick video, but I'm going to give you 15 things that I think that you need to know about Harford County. That way you can make an informed decision. And the best part about this video is there's no overlays. There's no overlays of a number one. There's no drone footage of anything. This is just you and me talking. I'm live. So if you want to make a comment, if you come in and comment, I will send you a free buyer's guide. This will help you. I have some checklists and stuff like that will help you. Anything that will make you feel better about moving, because as you know, public speaking is the number one fear in the world. And I've seemed to have mastered that a little bit. And then coming in a close number two is moving. Nobody likes to move, whether it's moving houses, moving, agencies, whatever you do, nobody ever wants to move until they have no choice but to move. All right. So just a little inside information. Here we go. Number one, Harford County is home to about 256,000 people. And I seem to think every day at about 2:30, 3 o'clock, everybody starts driving. I'm just kidding. The best part about these videos is I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I joke around, I kid, but so there's 256,000 people here in Harford County, which makes it a pretty good size. The roadways are more than capable of handling that kind of traffic. Harford County is literally, if you go 26 miles up 95 from Baltimore, Maryland, we are the second county in 26 miles. Whether you make a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn, you can always find great housing up here in Harford County, just in case if you don't want to live in the city. And I get that. Sometimes I live up here in Harford County. I love New York City. my previous life was that of an actor. I've been on Law and Order and a couple other things, but I love New York City because you can like go right out to the bottom there of each building, and there's someplace you can get pizza, you can get a hamburger, you certainly can get a drink. But if you're not into all that, Baltimore City certainly is like that in sections. But if you don't want to live in a city, then Harford County is the place to go, and you could become one of the 256,000 people here. Another thing that you probably don't know is Bel Air is actually the county seat, and it is the largest municipality in the county. So if you get off the exit 26 miles north, you hit the Harford County exit, probably about 8 miles to your left is Bel Air. And now there's a lot of great housing around Bel Air. We have all the restaurants you could want. We have, we got Miller Ale House, we got Fridays, we have IHOP, we have all that stuff, Burger King, McDonald's, whatever you want, we have here. And we also have, we have a mall that's located right here, but with the onslaught of Amazon and all the online shopping, the mall's kind of dying a slow death. I hate to say that, but there is still some shopping there for the rest of the tenants here. But Bel Air is if you go to court up here in Harford County, Bel Air is usually the place you go. My son has jury duty sometime this week, and he is going to park there at the parking garage there in the center of Bel Air. And the best part about that, they named, believe it or not, right next to the courthouse, they named it an arts and entertainment district, which I didn't understand it because there's no theater. There's a couple of restaurants, and there's a place that has a podcast studio, but it's really funny because the whole premise, I know what it was. In order to collect more taxes or to get a taxing discount inside the municipality, they named it an arts and entertainment center. But anyway, Bel Air is the county seat. It is right here, centrally located in Harford County. There is a Facebook page for all these old-timey Baltimore City pictures, and there's a few on there of Harford County. Harford County, believe it or not, has a rich history dating back to like the 1600s, and it's funny because, or not funny, but it's funny because it did play key parts in like the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, and what I mean by that is if you go, I talk about the Ma and Pa Trail a whole bunch in Harford County, which is centrally located. But if you look at the old time photos, those used to be railways. They have the old time locomotives that used to haul stuff back and forth. And this was a part of the Civil War and all that stuff, the Revolutionary War back then. And it's really amazing to see. We still have some old buildings over there, but the fact you can see a picture of like the old time locomotive that is going across the Ma and Pa Trail. And now it is nothing more than a recreation trail that stems from Fallston, Annie's Playground in Fallston, and it's going to go all the way out to Churchville to the college. See, you didn't realize that when I do these videos, it makes me so much more knowledgeable about these various different places because now I've invested a whole bunch of time and energy into learning this stuff. That way, for like you're coming from California, then, you've got me on the ground and you say, man, that guy really knows a lot about it, but it's just time and effort over space. All right, so we have a rich history here and dating back to the Civil War. As a kid, I used to like to do those old time photos, and I always was like a Civil War soldier. So that's that. I did a report years ago for my high school, and it was all the hauntings of Harford County. And I was just on the road out there in the middle of Pikesville yesterday, and I remember doing the report on a house that was right off this driveway. And they used to say that at certain times you could see a Civil War soldier leaning up against the side of the house. Don't know what that's all about, but getting into soldiers and stuff like that, the county is the home of Aberdeen Proving Ground and Edgewood Arsenal. This is a humongous major Army installation. They do a lot of testing there. There's a lot of jobs there, a lot of side supporting jobs. They also have annexes for like the Marines, Air Force. I know they get posted there, but this is just mainly the Army. And they test their bombs and stuff over there. They've got all this other stuff. And of course, you go through Aberdeen, which is like an all-American city. The city was Cal Ripken's home. Cal Ripken, he used to play baseball here. Him and his mother, his father, and his brothers lived there. It was Billy Ripken, Fred Ripken, and Cal Ripken. Fred, I heard, was like the best baseball player of all three of them, but he elected to, actually, here's a secret. He opened up a motorcycle shop down on Route 40, and that was what he did his entire life. And Cal, of course, played baseball. Billy played baseball. God rest their souls. Both his parents are no longer living, but they were all about baseball. And the best thing that Cal did was in Aberdeen, he built different, like they model these stadiums after these different stadiums around the country, and they call it Ripken Stadium. But they have the Aberdeen Ironbirds, which is really phenomenal. It's a really close knit stadium. It feels like you're right down there on the field. The food's great, people are great. You don't have to travel away to Baltimore City to go see the Orioles. But so that's Aberdeen. Another number four, another five secret here is that the Susquehanna River runs through the county. They offer, so we have a dam that's located in northern Harford County. Above the dam, anytime during the summer, it's like bath water. It's really warm, but you can take a boat out there. You go bass fishing, you got crappie fishing. And then as you're going north, you have cabins and there's all kinds of jetties going around. So there's all this different housing that's off the Susquehanna. Now, below the dam, it goes past Havre de Grace. It goes down past Aberdeen, Edgewood. So you can see it from those shorelines. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a direct connect to the Eastern Shore unless you go down to the Bay Bridge in Anne Arundel County, or you go up to Delaware and you swing around and go that way, and then you can go to the beach that way. If they ever, I know they've talked about putting a bridge from like Aberdeen, literally it's 4 or 5 miles across the Chesapeake there to Kent County, which is the Eastern Shore, and get to the, which would eliminate probably an hour's drive north or south into Delaware or into Anne Arundel County, all the traffic you'd fight. But the good news is they're now doing pay by plate at the tolls. We have tolls. That's another thing. Used to be you have to stop for a toll, give them your money, they may change. It took a lot of time. Then they had the Easy Pass, which that's fine too. Now it's pay by plate. So that's a good thing. Harford County is known for its agricultural. You'll see a lot of horse farms. There's a lot of cattle. When I say cattle, I mean cows and stuff like that. They offer the apple orchards that are in northern Harford County. They're plentiful. There's like the Lohr's Orchard. There was an orchard up out of Darlington. There's yet another orchard that's up off of, it's like northern Harford County off of like 439. So it's up that direct. It was nothing like, as a kid, I was always hungry. I fixed that, by the way. But nothing like going to an apple orchard, picking the apple right off the tree and eating it. I love doing that. And during the like October and the fall months, all of a sudden they've got the pumpkin patches and they've got the corn mazes. So that's always a fun thing to do if you're into that kind of thing. You take the kids out, get into the corn maze, get lost, go to the pumpkin patch, get a pumpkin. It usually happens when I did that with my kids, it usually was on Ravens game day. So at the Ravens game would be on. My wife's like, hey, we're going to go to the pumpkin patch, which is pretty cool to spend time with the kids. I know the one pumpkin patch in Darlington had a miniature train that you could get on and ride at. It would take you all the way out around the pumpkin patch. That was really cool too. We've talked about the number 7. We've talked about the Mom and Pa Trail that extends from Annie's Playground in Fallston all the way to Churchville. Man, what a great place to walk, run. You take your kids on, walk your dogs. I mean, this is a fabulous thing. Some parts have hills, and if you don't like hills, you know which parts to stay away from. Like the one in Central Bel Air has a bunch of hills. There's a Lerodendron Hill, which basically, when you walk the one Mom and Pa Trail, you're doing this, you're going downhill, and then you go around and click up to the Lerodendron, which Lerodendron's been like scenery for the backdrop for a couple of movies. Something the Lord Made, I was in there for that. There's a couple of the movies that they shoot in the Lerodendron right there next to Bel Air. So the Mom and Pa Trail has plenty of hills. They have, if you don't like hills, there's plenty of flat spots. So as soon as you get to the Mom and Pa Trail, it is located right off of Granary Road. It's all flat. So there's really not a lot of hills. And there's probably, I want to say 6 miles. So if you go 3 miles out and 3 miles back, there's 6 miles of just flat terrain. It's great for riding bikes, great for running, walking. So if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into that recreation, that's great. You also have the children's like Record Road, Cedar Day. There's all these multiplex fields that you can go to. A lot of times you take your children there and like they play soccer, they play lacrosse, they play basketball. They've got all these different things. And that's usually on the weekend when you go past those places, you see it all packed up with people's cars and the kids are out there playing. It's great. I often joke with my wife, we should have a donut, going back to the little orbit thing, donut and coffee truck, just going around to these different places and selling coffee and selling donuts. What a great thing, right? So getting into that, number 8, the county is home to several parks, nature preserves. It has the Rock State Park, which is located in northern Forest Hill, has the Kilgore Falls. So these places are like really nice hiking trails. If you're into rappelling, if you're into going off the side of a hill and rappelling down, the Rock State Park has the king and queen seat. Sorry, and the reason why they call it a king and queen seat is it literally looks like the aspirant, pardon my language, of 2 people that sat on top of this rock jetty that was sticking out from the Rock State Park. And as you're going through the Rock State Park, you can see the rivers. So if you're into like bass fishing, I personally like getting a little ultralight, put a little, here's a secret. Don't tell my fishing secret to anybody. So this is top secret. The best way to catch anything in any of these rivers here is a little silver spinny bait with black, like, it's like a rooster tail, black rooster tail. So you can get these at Walmart. They're literally $2 an oar. You go with your ultralight, you cast upstream, and every time you pull back, you catch smallmouth. And there's some largemouth too. Smallmouth bass, creek chubs, really, really, here's the secret, a lot of fun. If you just want to take a Saturday out, take your sons or daughters or sons, get some old shoes on, get some fishing rods, and put that little bit of thing, that little rooster tail in there on their fish rod, you'll catch fish all day long. You also want to make sure that you carry along a pair of hemostats. That's the little thing that's really long and it's good for clipping hooks out of the fish's mouth, getting kernels of corn out of your kid's nose. So, but that's really, really, really fun stuff. And like the Rock State Park has those streams, you can do that here. And anywhere you drive in the county, and I joke around because I take a lot of pictures, a lot of BPO pictures for the banks. That's me taking pictures, giving values to the banks. And I carry a fishing rod in my truck. For me, I have to also get a license. I think it's like $20 a year. For children under 13, you don't have to get a license, but it's just good if the adult in the situation has a license. That way you don't get no fuss from the fuzz, from DNR, Department of Natural Resources. So that's one. And you can that's really, really nice spot. The Rock State Park is fun. There's places up there to park. You can go and spend a day, picnic, fish, swim, you name it. You can do it there. Number 9, Harford County is also, they have several wineries here. There's the Apple. It's the orchard right off of, see, I'm having a senior moment. This is a good part about live. I can't. So there's tons of apple orchards. There's tons of wineries. And there's the one off of, I can't think of the road, High Point Road. Yeah, Pleasantville Road. So there's an orchard over there, Boone's Farm. There's an orchard winery there. There's several wineries. You wouldn't be surprised, but there's a ton of them that they have the grapes, and you go there for the wine testing or tasting, the wine tasting. They also have little bands there. It's really for the adult, for the adult inside the kid, or for the kid inside the adult. For the adult, it's a great way to go and spend the evening, drink some wine, listen to some music, if you're into that kind of thing. So there's several places along in and around town. There's Havre Grace. They've got several bars over at Havre Grace where they have like the wine tastings and stuff like that. And for more information, I can give you these places to go. That way you can look up on TripAdvisor and see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so here's the secret. Do you know where the original capital of the United States was going to be? And I'll wait. And that brings us to number 11, the town of Havre Grace, which is located right here on eastern part of Harford County, going up. If you go up North 95 and 40, Havre Grace is on the right. Havre Grace was originally going to be our nation's capital. Can you believe that? And now it's just nothing, but that was the secret. They were going to put it there, and then they decided that they wanted to put it down. And you can understand where the capital now sits. It's kind of like in an armpit up between Maryland and Virginia. So, and they put it, and I guess they put it centrally located there because like really, really investigate this, but the north and south is like right there. Lee came right there to Washington, D.C., and it was Lee and what was the Union officer's name? But anyway, they met right there in Virginia and D.C., and that's where the capital was. Havre Grace is a great little place. They've got a couple of bars there. Great places to eat down there. The housing is just like every place else. You've got your townhouses, apartments, condos, and then you go across 40 and you have even more houses. Okay, so and there's a ton of museums down there. There's waterfront views. There's a waterfront walkway down on Havre There's also there's another secret bass fishing spot down there. I won't usually tell everybody, but I'm going to let you in on it. So down there on the one pier, if you just take your fishing rod, regular fishing rod, and a regular spinner or a rattle trap and throw it off that pier, man, I tell you what, the largemouth bass down there. So if you're in that kind of thing, if you like walk, you let the missus walk the dog while you fish down there. Take your kids down there. It's absolutely wonderful. Talking about fishing, we have rockfish. Well, rockfish are striped bass, which I think like you can catch them this size, but usually in order to keep them, they have to be substantially bigger. So there is definitely the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, definitely like to keep tabs of the rockfish, but they're plentiful and you can catch them below the dam. There's up there next to the dam itself. You can fish below the dam for that as well. So, all right. So a couple other things here. Number 12, the county hosts several annual events that you should be aware of. One of the big ones is the Harford County Farm Fair. So if you go down below behind the mall there on Tollgate Road and go around little parts, there is a equestrian center back there, and they have the farm fair, and it's usually, I want to say it's in July, like July 11th, 12th, and 13th. It's like the one weekend, and they got the carnival rides, and they've got all the people with all the farm animals, and they judge them. Really, really a fun time, and it's not very expensive to get in. You can park your car several places around Bel Air, and a bus will take you to the farm fair. It might be like $5 a person or something like that. And you get in there, and there's food, and there's rides, and there's entertainment. Really, really a fun time for the entire family. And again, that's usually right around July. You also have the Maryland State Barbecue Bash. They've discovered that they've had a couple of shows about the barbecue, and that is at exactly the same place as the weekly, the Saturday morning farm fair, the Saturday morning fair right there at the courthouse. This weekend, they have the barbecue bash. So if you're really into, like, you want to taste all the variety of different barbecues, go to that one right there. I believe at one point, like Famous Dave's, if he's even still around, they opened up a chain of restaurants, but Famous Dave's Restaurants was never really the same as like going to the barbecue bash and saying, hey, Famous Dave, I want to get some ribs. And they have a variety of different barbecue from all these different, like pit masters that you see on the food channel. So if you're in for a good time, that happens once a year. I want to say it's like May or June. Again, if you look up on the internet, and I'll get some of these dates down together. So if you reach out to me, I'll get the dates for that. But really, really a fun time. They have the 4th of July fireworks right in the middle of Bel Air. I believe Havre has them too, but the big one is Bel Air. And here's another secret. You can park in Bel Air, and you can go to the top of the park and ride, which if Main Street right here, just a couple blocks over, right behind the sheriff's department, is a parking garage. It's the only one in Bel Air. And you can go in there and you can sit on the top of that parking garage, and you can look down towards Bel Air High School, is where they light off the fireworks. And that's where they have them. Now, last couple of years, we came through this crazy thing called the pandemic. And I know that they have canceled the fireworks in the past. Keep your schedule open. So that way, if they're going to do it this year. I don't see why they wouldn't do it this year other than the expense. Some other places that have, I know Havre has it. Just check your internet. Again, if you reach out to me, I'll give you the dates and places. They also have, in the middle of Bel Air, they have Charm City Run. If you're into running and you want to do 5Ks and 10Ks and all that stuff, this is a great place to go, and you can find out all that stuff about running. I'm doing a 5K. I'm going to start training for a 5K here in April, and I think it's the St. Christopher's 5K. In my previous life, I used to run all the time. I did like the Under Armour Marathon back in Baltimore. Bucket list kind of thing. And now I gained some weight, a little bit of weight, and now I'm going to lose some of that weight, and I'm going to get back into shape. So that way, when I'm walking up and down the Mom and Pa Trail, I won't be like, let me tell you about, I can't breathe. So that's, and I'm not poking fun at anybody that has a problem like that. My problem is I'm overweight and I'm out of shape. So, all right. So number 13, there's some notable residents here. So one just reached out to me, Richard Chismar. He's one of our famous authors here. He's written The Boogeyman. He's close personal friends with Stephen King. Stephen King actually called him out on one of the book signings that Stephen King had. And Richard is really a great author and has written several books. A couple other people that you may have recognized: Cal Ripken Jr. lived here. Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps lives here. So John Ruckman from Law and Order lives here. That's me. Jonathan Sheck, who has been all over TV, lived here. So Dale Midkiff lived here. So there's tons of famous people that have come from Harford County. And I often joke around it was like a whole class of our class, 87 and lower, in Edgewood, Maryland, because that's where I went to high school. Edgewood, Maryland must have produced so many famous people coming out of that class. It was unreal. I mean, there's people who were singers, there's actors, there's writers, so the list goes on and on and on. And I think even Chris Sarandon, my father joked around about this, Chris Sarandon, who was the husband of Susan Sarandon, who is still an actor. He did, if you do the first Fright Night, he was the vampire in it. Also lived here too. So a lot of notable different people here. It's funny because every so often, like my children went to Fallston, and the big famous guy we had there was Melvin Moore. He played for the Orioles. He was third base, real nice guy, and he had 5 or 6 kids. I think he had 6 kids, but I think the 5 were like, how do you say that, triplet, quintuplets or something. So all those children were in class with my son. So every time we went to a function, there's Melvin Moore, who plays third base for the Orioles. So there you go. No telling who you run into. I ran into Billy Ripken a number of times, only because like I do different commercials and stuff like that for Fox, and he was doing commercials too. I've run into Cal Ripken. My big run-in with Cal Ripken was back when I was 13 years old. And if you have knowledge of Cal, tell him I'll give him back his baseball. But him and Eddie Murray were playing catch. And this is back when Ripken was like, I want to say a rookie. And I was 13, didn't know any better. They were playing catch, and I think Murray or Ripken had missed the ball, and the ball rolls over to the first baseline on the other side of the fence down at Memorial Stadium. And me being a 13-year-old kid, smart ass kid, I see the ball there. I jump over the fence. I grab the ball. I jump back. I do the whole like that with Ripken, and he's holding his glove out like this, and I go and I do the whole fakey out, and I jump back across the fence. I feel terrible about that. I'm 53 now. He probably don't remember that, but that's the one thing I remember. So, anyway, if you got his name and number, we all run into each other all the time. I haven't run into Ripken in quite a while. Usually it happens when I go to like a Baltimore something or other, some kind of a thingamabob that I do down in Baltimore, and I run into these folks. Just ran into Mickey Cocello. He's a comedian that used to be a DJ on 98 Rock. Ran into him the other day. He knows me because he knows I hate to say I'm not as successful actor. I've been on several things, but we ran into each other because we did a movie together a long time ago. So, number 14, maybe 13, we're going to get into the county has a diverse economy with industries including like healthcare, technology. You've got the Edgewood Arsenal. You got the Post. You got DOD. There's a lot of side supporting county jobs here. So we're really, really versed in the different types of jobs. You also have the 2 main hospitals. You have Harford and you have Upper Chesapeake, the doctors and nurses and all that. So the nursing program, all that is really, really diverse. There are good paying jobs in the county. There's good paying jobs. And we have probably the best sheriff right now at the sheriff's department. They're all no nonsense, but they're really good guys. They're just you and I, and they're doing a job. So that's, I know they're really good people, and we really don't have a crazy amount of like really, really bad crime, not like New York or Philadelphia or DC, where it's like a whole plethora thing. I know Baltimore's kind of got a bad rap, but that's because those newspapers, all that, always seem to singular focus on really the bad events, when really there's a lot of great people down there too. And I give high regards to the Baltimore City Police Department. They really are in tough times. They can't get people to work for them because unfortunately, politicians, they're not backing the police department. They're more or less backing the confusion, I guess you would say. Another thing about the county here you may not know is that our public library comes in such high regard. It's really, I love going to the public library, and there are several branches all over the place. There's one in Boston, there's one in the middle of Bel Air, and they've really come a long way. You can go in there and get playaways. Those are kind of like the Audible and book. I mean, with Audible, it's kind of shutting all that down, but if you wanted to go and learn how to play a guitar, they got it there. And of course, they've got all the people who teach that kind of thing there at the library. It's always easy to find somebody to help you there. All right, so that was like the 15 secrets to Harford County. I'm sorry I didn't have the overlays, and I'm sorry I didn't have all the little interesting stuff that happen here and there, but this is a live video. I mean, you're going to see me. I am human. I make mistakes, but I love Harford County. I love Baltimore, Maryland. I love Baltimore County. I love the surrounding counties. We really do have a great state here. I'm all about the state. I'm very, very passionate when it comes to the state. As you can see, take off my jacket here. I do have a Maryland state. That was no bullshit on the last video. Maryland state flag on my arm here. And I also have a United States flag there. That's because I'm a veteran. I used to be a police officer, used to be a corrections officer. Now I'm a real estate agent doing these videos. So there is really a sense of pride when it comes to this state. We're good natured. We sit around, we eat crabs, we drink beer, we talk about politics, we talk about the Orioles, we talk about the Ravens, and the politicians always give us something good to talk about. But I really think that if you don't want to move in the city, Harford County is like an excellent place to raise a family. They have excellent schools, affordable housing, and just really a strong sense of community. So I hope the next live, I think I'm going to do something where I can hit some buttons and the little stuff will come up here. But this was just a trial run for this video. As Brad Pitt once said, he was so bad, his acting could only get better. So the live might have been so bad, but it can only get better. So I'll make sure I put in some overlays and stuff like that. But this is more like a test for you, the 15 things, 15, 16, 17 secrets about Harford County that I thought maybe you might need to know. Again, I'm John. I'm the Charm City Property Dude. I love putting together these videos for you. And again, if you reach out, no matter the day, night, weekend, anytime you call, I will respond to you personally. Yes, it's me. So even with the rogue comments I've gotten here in the last couple of weeks, man, I didn't realize I was appealing to a certain crowd. I'm a teddy bear, if you know what that means. So I do appreciate it. You want to go ahead and check out this video or that video right here. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. And again, these videos are designed to help you feel safe about your move to Maryland. So have a good day.